Good evening, Lufia fans, and welcome to the... I don't know how to make this funny. That's a bad April Fool's joke. What is a great April Fool's joke is this Eddie start here. We are here, for, is this a tiebreaker or a play-in?
This is the play-in.
Lovely. This is the play-in for the Cat Claw group of between LordBobBree and Poidrac, both 3 and 2. Gonna see who will be proceeding on to brackets. I'm Neon Gray. With me is Inveterable. How you doing on this fine April Fool's Day?
Oh, I'm doing great. I've seen a lot of benign, humorous things out there. All my friends have shared, things that gave me a hearty chuckle. Nothing painful, nothing cruel. It's really been the highlight of April Fool's Days in recent memory. So, been glad to be a part of it, and glad to be a part of this race tonight. Do you know what happened in their group round-robin matchup, these two?
I do not. What happened with them?
Poidrac won by 33 seconds.
Oh.
And that's what put them both at 3 and 2 to both be able to be in this play-in match. So I'm sure LordBobBree is looking out for a little bit of vengeance, but clearly two very evenly matched runners. This ought to be a heck of a race.
This game at least will not be a joke, and even if the objectives certainly do seem here to make us laugh, we've got two complete Cave Magnus, so Harumph, as always, will be bringing us music. Got the Luca Key, Super Cannon, a trip up to the moon for that Crystal Sword altar, and the lovely Ogopogo spot at the Masamune altar. We will be completing the giant, and let's also grab a Baron key while we're at it.
Yeah, notably, this is, we do have 3 objectives, all gated by that Darkness Crystal, and nothing that requires a hook combo today. So, relatively few key items required. I mean, it's hard to say this will be any sort of jet seed when you have to complete the giant, but at the same time, kind of a minimum safe distance to getting into go mode, it may be. So, just depends on how those key items fall out. If there are no nasty chains, we could have a fairly speedy, road to the finish here.
Yeah, it is hard to say. Like I've seen more bottlenecked seeds than this, but I've also seen a lot less. So there could be a lot of quickness with how the key items just roll around. I do notice, though, that a lot of our required checks are kind of lengthy, because Magnus log check, Sealed Cave, since we gotta go both ways, that's pretty long.
Well, we are getting off to the races. Eddie's relatively low early game power is going to be very nicely complemented by Edge as our partner, ungated in this tournament, of course. Odin walking off the throne to take the Baigen spot. That's a tower key. So, yeah. Nothing wrong with this start at all. We didn't get the vaunted Team 90 HP. We have a lot of power really fast here.
Yeah, this really leads us, I think, to an early emblem play. Get us some ninja swords. Hopefully get us, maybe an arty bow for that Eddie, which will certainly tide him over until or unless he can get a spoon. But we will, of course, be seeing Bedward first.
Yeah, you love to get an early Earth Crystal, just open up that full treasury while you're here, and hopefully, just drastically reduce the amount of looting you need to do on this flag set. But let's see what he gives.
I'll take it.
Also a pretty good source of power. Magma Key, of course, giving us access to 3 sets of gated shops underground, item, weapon, and armor, including, since we're on S standard, many potent J items. But this is a team that so far, grinding a few extra levels isn't going to do Eddie much good, because he's still Edward.
Yeah. They won't hurt him, but they won't help him all that much either. Not, when he needs levels, he needs them in large quantity.
Yeah. But we do see Poidrac going to the public treasury and pulling a defense sword out of there, one of the, if not the best weapon for Kain in the game already. So relatively good loot for a change in the public treasury. BobBree, meanwhile, making a beeline to that magma key turn in, gonna get underground, or at least open it up, and maybe see what awaits down there.
Yeah, and looks like Poidrac will be joining him. I do like the early magma key starts on basically any S standard flag set, just because gated shops, so good.
Yeah. Of course, if you want to get some of the juicier pieces of equipment, you will need some money to be able to afford them. And even the 8 treasures Poidrac has opened aren't going to go a very long way on that front.
That's why God invented the T Wildish flag. You get so money from there, so much money. Yeah. BobBree doing Feymarch first. Probably gonna do a treasure skim.
Oh yeah, we see that save there. That screams, I want to open every box in here and just take the very quick reset. Hey, speaking of Kain weapons.
Ooh, White Spear, and honestly that is a fantastic candidate for sale with a defense sword in hand, but BobBree does not have that defense sword. He gave a pass to the public treasury.
We get a little divergence here. Poidrac heading to Dwarf Castle. Dwarf Castle also because the loot is free and safe, a little lower ranked, but there is a lot of it. So maybe looking to build up his coffers here.
Yeah, and you got it exactly. Oh, that's a samurai bow in Feymarch. That will just give the Eddie a little bit of oomph that will keep him from being complete deadweight early on.
Yeah.
He'll be mostly deadweight, but...
and the charm arrows to go with it. But what I really like seeing BobBree do there is did elect not to open the final 3 chests. The warriors are still out there. There's only 3 chests to go. You've made it this far without activating them. I like avoiding the reset here. There's always a chance there's something really spectacular, one of those, but I think that time save there is really a smart heads-up play this early in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Wine and Starveils for sale down in the Feymarch. Great finds both. We pick up some wine to just get us going. We'll almost certainly be back, because we're just going to check these bosses and shudder quietly.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Dwarf Castle shops being relatively uneventful, but who were those bosses?
That was a turtle and a karate man.
Cool. Yeah, and of course, the Leviathan spot where the karate is hanging out, one of the highest physical attack locations in the game. So those punches and kicks, they're not just all in the mine. If you want to test him, I'm sure you'll find that it hurts. It hurts real bad.
Yeah, it's very doable, especially if we can find a Cecil, which this will be our last chance for these runners to grab a Cecil in this tournament. We'll see if he makes himself available, or if he's already planning that fishing trip.
We got a construction manager job, Dwarf.
Very traditional. Heroin for sale in Tomra. That's a great find. Oh, and a full moon.
Yeah, get your back row glitch on, and also I think that's just a direct upgrade over basically all the edge gear we found so far. Not seen even a long blade, let alone ninjas or Murasames, which frequently pop up on T Wildish. So we're living on scraps here with our ninja today.
Yeah, coffins there and exits. Lovely to have both on hand. The full moon, of course, is extant. It is equivalent to a middle sword with a much longer animation. Oh, and he started with the boomerang.
Yeah, so the back row was already taken care of, but still, right now, I don't think we've seen... Now, did BobBree even peek the weapon shop when he went down to Feymarch? Because I know we did not see ninja blades in either of the weapon shops Poidrac checked.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Oh, and yes, it's a long sword, not a middle sword, sorry.
It's all good. Either way, when you're on T Wildish, both of them feel about equally bad in my book. You get up to T Pro, you're like, oh, a longsword, yes! But right now, no, we want the big guns.
Yeah. Eddie taking a bit of a nap against that Baigan.
Sparkle in slot 2, and, well...
That's actually really trivial. That's a great find, seeing that Wyvern here. Of course, the Mega Nuke will not kill it.
Yeah, so you are on a clock here with the nukes. But LordBobBree, you might want to reach into your cutlery, find something to fling here. This is a little scary.
Yeah, this is a bit tight. It's a very, very slow spot, and Edge is, of course, handily outpacing it, so we might get this, but this low damage is, it's frightening.
And it makes it, with time to spare, just too slow, Wyvern, too slow. Getting Porum, adding, any white mage is a great white mage, but just a samurai bow. Where are the items this seed?
Not sure, but I don't hate a samurai bow, a second samurai bow, when we're getting a Porum.
True, true. If Edge can't do the damage, maybe all these squishy folks with powerful bows will take care of it. Maybe.
I mean, they're better than nothing. And they actually are with a samurai bow. Ooh, cabins.
Cabins. We did already see Starvales underground right next to the Bacchus one, but you did just burn one to take down the Wyvern. If you need to restock, it's very convenient.
Yeah, and certainly much more convenient having those Starvales here in a very accessible overworld shop instead of deep underground.
Yeah. And we do see LordBobBree also picking up some Thor Rages, maybe having designs on that Kainatsu at Asura down the road.
Yeah, it is very much something you want to be prepared for, because that is a fast turtle.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe our starter kit, did it include exit doors? I know it had grimoires in it.
There's usually one or two.
Yeah, so we've got some pretty nice little ability to sweep things and quickly get through here.
Oh, that's samurai arrows in that shop, and a ninja sword, and a silent stuff.
We saw Poidrac sell that White Lance in a heartbeat, getting the 63.5 thousand for it to go ahead and pick up a nice little bit of steel.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since he's got that defense sword, that's a complete no-brainer.
There is an adamant rock behind a very quick and dead Mylon in the Antlion Cave. Now, Forge not required this seed, but it gets you an Excal. It's kind of interesting, I think, when we move on to brackets, because right now there's a whole lot of value in doing that. You have the money to afford stuff at the Kakul shop. If you've not found a big stick for Cecil, Excal gets the job done. But with that changeover from, well, of course, not having Cecil, and also it just being basically a random tier 7, tier 8 item, the time consumption to turn in the Forge is going to come into its own, I think, when we advance to brackets.
Yeah, I certainly don't think we're going to see it so often, unless, of course, it is an objective, where it will still be available as an objective. But
we joked about the low HP team, and aside from Edge, well, look at this group.
Oh, they're all so squishy. And while Edge, of course, is not squishy early on, he becomes fairly squishy.
That's one thing. The only armor we saw for Cell in the Fey March was the ninja shirt, which, if you don't find a whole lot of adamant armors on your seed, I feel like before the advent of Sineki, we made fun of the ninja shirt so much because it doesn't even give the strength that Edge's default black belt geek gives. But now all of a sudden, when you do lower level Z fights, and you just need to find something with good defense for that kind of squishy Edge, ninja shirt, it's there when you need it.
Oh yeah, no, I love that thing. got so much magic defense, and I'm not afraid of bolting a little more agility on your edge. It's so good. He's so fast.
And although Poidrac has that Thunderclaw, well, this Dr. Luque spot does not really merit it. Not with this damage.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
And LordBobBree feeding that Leviathan Orb to Rydia. She doesn't quite have the MP to cast it yet. I believe you need 50 to start casting it. But one more fight, and she'll be ready to sweep away most of these overworld fights, too.
Yeah, great timing to just pop that now. This fight should give her the experience for it. With that, Ordeal's probably coming. We don't have a Cecil, but it is still a K-main check, and that Leviathan will just sweep the bosses aside in the way.
Yeah. And also, I mean, we have Edge. We have access to Sirens if we want to steal them. But so far, we're just about... Well, okay, Sheila 1 is happening. Let's see if this gates something.
Oh!
Okay.
Yeah, that gates something.
That gates a few things. If it hadn't been that, I was going to say, we're already down to remarkably few checks until that happened. Just, I mean, Ordeals, Dwarf Castle, Fame Arch, Lower Babel, but just... None of those you really want to do with this team, even with the Edge, right? Ordeals is safe, but even Dwarf Castle, I want a few more levels first. So having more options, I think, is really good for this squad right now.
Yeah, because we are definitely not where we're at for any underground checks, except for maybe like Tower Key, but it's very rare that you want to take only Tower Key. No rat tail from Kabul.
We see Poidrac here going ahead and launching the whale, wanting to see who that character on the moon is. Can't blame him at all. Fu or Cecil both very quickly change the outlook of the seed, and we know Poidrac's got some good cane weaponry still kicking around as well.
Yeah, definitely want to see who that is up there, because there's a lot of options who will just immediately improve our situation.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that our restreamer Harumph has already duplicate Edward up there, just for maximum bardage this seed.
Oh, that would be so good. If only we could duplicate a spoon that we don't have.
And while we are doing these cutscenes, huge shoutouts to Harumph, handling the restream, and Twisted Flax, handling the tracking tonight. Could not have the show without the two of them, making it easy on us and just getting to enjoy the seed.
Yes, that's true. If we did indeed have a duplicate Edge or a duplicate Edward, we would have Ed, and Eddie in our party.
Duplicate Edge here is actually a little awkward, because again, I mean, Poidrac sold the farm to buy that one ninja blade.
Yeah,
and
we
two of them. Ugh.
Yeah, we cannot support a second Edge right now. It's interesting because I've seen duplicate Edge come up a couple times in the tournament, and every time it's come up, the runners have all said no, just because they just have not had the gear. He needs so much.
I think if we do see one, there probably will be a pretty quick trip to Elven Castle, just because high tier loot. If you have two edges, you can probably handle most of the fights, even with subpar equipment.
Yeah.
But in these shops, we've not seen sirens, and we've not seen hourglasses for sale. Two of the big ticket J items in short supply at this point.
Yeah, that was a Pelham, who we immediately reset out of. Yeah, not bringing anything really to the table with a Leviathan-powered Rydia on hand.
Yeah. Well, Poidrac doesn't have that Rydia yet. Must have just considered that he's even counterfeited by Edge this early in the game.
Yeah.
Poidrac not wanting anyone. No, only Edward and Edge. I don't need anybody else.
You know what? I support just resetting out of character checks that you don't want at all. Like, every character you don't want is taking turns in battle that you don't want them to have. So, just go without. You'll be fine.
LordBobBree about to get the same news that it is a Palom up here. BobBree definitely already gave Rydia that Leviathan orb, so I dare say has even less use for a Palom than Poidrac would have.
Yeah. Another reset right out of there. Very nicely done. Poidrac plops that full moon back onto that edge for a clean one-shot on that Mylon Zed.
Yep, taking advantage of the fact that they make the Earth Elemental float so that you can't hit it with Quake, but in doing so, they make it weak to thrown weapons and arrows.
Yeah, it is very interesting. He sold the guy a hat. Wow. Top 10 anime betrayals.
I think that many racers are thoroughly afraid to go up against the folks who have advanced from the Gaia Hat group, and maybe this is just the way they opt to show their opinion thereof.
Oh, you sell what you're afraid of, really.
They're like, keep that Gaia Hat away from me. No, thank you.
Look, you know, I may be out of this tournament, but I'm on the winning team.
BobBree here doing a little bit of we're doing a little crisscross applesauce. BobBree's going back and taking care of some shop checks that Poidrac did. Gonna go ahead and look at who this fight is, too. That is a squid. I don't hate that with this team. Chop a few tentacles off and you are outpacing it significantly.
Yeah, this is just fine. Edward alive for this wyvern, so this too should help it go a lot faster. Plus, this edge is doing about twice as much damage as LordBobBree's was.
Yeah, I like hiding to save a Starvel there. You know, we know a couple places you can buy them, but those things ain't cheap. So I like the clever use of Edward there.
Yeah, very quickly done. We pick up that Porum, who is probably just as thrilled about seeing as he was about the Rydia and the Palom, but she's got a key item. We're gonna take her.
I once upon a time, I made fun of Porum. I've been converted to the light. Demarine has shown me the way. All white mages are precious white mages.
I still tend to feel like if you are healing, the fight is taking too long, but I do love me some green DPS. Green, of course, being the color of healing. But, you know what? Every white mage in the game is a perfectly capable archer, and bows have a lot of damage in this game. I will be glancing away from the screen for just a moment while I carefully mop up this drink that I spilled half of.
Well, you're not missing much. BobBree still chopping off tentacle after tentacle on this Octomammoth. Gonna get through the fight cleanly, it seems. Meanwhile, Poidrac finds a D-miss in the first spot on Ordeals. Love to see it there. Hate fighting it at high HP spots. You want to one-cycle this thing. You don't want to have to sit through turn into mist, turn into mist, turn into mist.
Yeah, getting the damage out to do it in one cycle with this party might be a little bit dicey, but I think we can do this.
Meanwhile, BobBree has finished off the Calamari. Gonna get a look at this character. I think we're running very low on whammies, barring a duplicate, so...
Yeah, and we are through on the Mist Dragon, so I was wrong. Valvolus on the other side. Very great spot for her there, trivial. Speaking of whammies, that's a Sid.
You know, he's better with a bow than pretty much everyone else on this team is. But LordBobBree electing to even keep the Edward around instead of flipping over to the Engineer.
Yeah, I mean, he's... I think that would really be a net neutral trade right now. So, you know, let's just keep this guy going. Shuffling your party does take time. And there is that hope of a spoon.
So Poidrac uses Flame, clears away the Brainas, but all the cows still standing. Will he be able to finish them off? Pulling out a Grimoire, but a little too late. This is very dangerous. You can call a lot of elemental summons, like Shiva, with the Grimoire, and Calbraina doesn't really go for that, if I remember correctly.
No, she doesn't. Oh, that doesn't hurt at all. That's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that the Calbraina doll has counterattacks for the 3 main elements that you won't see, that you see very rarely. But in vanilla, no one can use elemental abilities there.
It's really neat. A neat bit of thoroughness and design, even if we don't ever see it. And actually going to the big doll was actually probably a little more efficient for this party, because we are a bit stronger on the single targets, and we do get more XP out of that.
So, dueling key items, Poidrax descends from the chandelier. It's a Sand Ruby, another character check. We like those. Not exactly gating anything, though.
Yeah, I think we're likely to see it, because we're obviously not thrilled with this party right now, and that is another gated check, with the whammies rapidly, going away.
Poidrac using all the claws, and LordBobBree finding another White Lance. I mean, it's not a key item, but again, it's 63,500 gold if you just need cash. It's great for throwing with edge. If you find a cane, nothing wrong with slapping that on him. But still, it's so weird. It feels like we've had a ton of whammies, but at the same time, we do have quite a few key items as well. It's a weird Schrodinger kind of seed.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing, too, is none of the key items that we found have been, like, immediately useful to us. Like, even the darkness, the character check, sure, but we're not strong enough to take on any of those moon checks yet. Rat Tail we can't use. Tower Key is, of course, paired with the very hefty, Tower Top Boss, who we might be seeing shortly here.
Yeah, LordBobBree believing in the team, no additional grinding. Let's just rock this crew on up to the top of the tower.
Yeah, not popping any of the chests whatsoever. Wonder if we're leaving them for a Hail Mary, Siren check.
I mean, if we come up, empty on a lot of these, and your next real option is Moon, I definitely want to burn a few Sirens to get Porum and Rydia rocking here.
Yeah, and, this would be the Vanilla Dark Imps encounter in the tower control room. Showing why this spot is so trivial, when randomized.
Yeah, so LordBobBree tackling these key item locations with Aplom. Poidrac going a little loot goblin-y here. Heading down to Eblin. Let's see if he elects to fight or flee.
He spent some time making sure that everybody was equipped. I think he's gonna take these trap chests. And I like going for it so early. These chests have just made such a huge difference to so many races. Burning these coffins down.
The Ogre's rudely seeing that one queued up. Gonna have to find a different way to kill the third. Oh! I think I just reset there. Okay, did not consume that one. If I had lost both coffins there, I would just be like, I'm just running back in here. But Porum did not get the ATB tick off to lose that other one.
Yeah, that's quite handy. We do have mute arrows also. Looking for a Charm Claw. Oh, we did pick up a Charm Claw. That will take care of this third one easily.
Poidrac has every weakness in the book. His Fire Claw, Ice Claw, Thunder Claw, Charm Claw. He came prepared, and that's an Adamant armor.
Yes, goes immediately on that edge. We're good to go, I think. But I think we're gonna keep going, since we can now very easily deal with the rest.
Yep, LordBobBree showing us a sparkle up here.
This is fine. Prime candidate for lunar frogs.
A little dragon defense would go a long way here. We did see Poidrac pick up a crystal ring there. So by the time he gets up to the tower, his squishies should be able to endure this just a little better, as long as they got stuff like that equipped.
Yeah, but it's clear we're just holding out timers to try and pull up some... Oh, he's only got the 1-star veil, so it's going to be the single frog strat here.
The good news about that is, well, I mean, you can still get both. You just have to get very lucky with the reflection. But the interesting thing here is that if you do have to do the single frog strat, the spell power here is so low that you kind of have time to recover, because the untransformed D-Lunar is not going to kill its teammate with viruses that quickly. Yeah, 266 a pop.
Yeah, this is fine.
But not going to be a fast fight for LordBobBree by any measure.
No, not at all. But we'll get the team back up and get them going.
Just an apple for the Stellman Skull Chest, but hey, you've already gotten an Adamant armor out of here. I don't think you complain about any other loot, no matter how seemingly irrelevant it may be right now.
Apples are handy. Hit points at a pinch, cash at a pinch. They're not exciting. They won't win a fight for you, but they're good to have. And I see Dipwood in our chat, the original Lunar Frogs. Back in ZZ1. Nasty D-looters at Rubicante completely accidentally had the walls up, and then, like magic, we saw the frogs appear.
The rest of this Evelyn not giving too big of payoffs to Poidrac. Gonna hope for something good in the Kitty Cat Snecko Lady chest. But nothing here that's really just stand out. Unless I've missed something, of course. I did have a brief sneezing fit there. Spring allergies are in full bloom. 2 sirens, actually. Kinda nice. Stealing takes quite a bit of time, even with this Porum. But that's kind of a good find for how squishy this team is and how much you'd like to get them powered up.
Yeah, cannot complain about a pair of sirens. It's especially with how much completion these flags often do. 2 sirens are quite often enough.
Trashing 8 items, doing a little sort duty. Hopefully you won't face the dreaded inventory boss again. Zeus Gauntlet to go with that Adamant armor. Poidrac's Edge is about to be doing a lot of work in a big way.
Yeah, he is a strong boy.
And LordBobBree has taken down the frog, but now the remaining Lunars, chat has pointed out, will counter every move with fire. Well, not every move. We'll not count summons. We'll not counter summons with it, because it has a different counter when hit with a summon, and that's to heal 10% of its HP. That's not ideal either.
Popping an elixir to get that MP back for it. We easily outpace the damage that the recovery does, so it's fine, it's just slower.
Poidrac finishes off the last trap chest. Bahamut summon. Hey, you remember that Iridia up on hops?
Remember that pile of money Bahamut sells for?
I guess also relevantly, remember that Sand Ruby we have, which could just be a Fusoya anyway.
Oh, Poidrac doesn't remember it.
I mean,
well,
you
he
have
might just not be checking it, yeah.
You got Adamant armor edge, right? Like, what you got to worry about? And that is the Twin Harp required to be able to do objective number 1 here at the top of tower. Finally, it feels like we're making some headway on our objectives this season.
Yeah, great find there. We do need music, the most important part of any seed.
Now, Poidrac has Adamant Armor. I'm not sure if he put the Zeus Gauntlet on, but Adamant Armor, Ninja Sword, Thunderclaw. I think this Octomammoth fight, like, right now, LordBobBree is very much ahead on the checks, but Poidrac's team has the power. We're going to get a really good look at this seed to see just what a difference that gear can make over the course of your run.
Yeah, that Octomam is very quickly going to regret her life choices. Get the Berserk out on that edge. Edward goes, I'm helping.
I'm helping! Octomammoth did not like that help, but 3,500 damage from the Zerk Ninja Blade Thunderclaw combo. Oh. That was significantly faster.
That's the good stuff.
But you are on the clock, especially if this tower key gives us one of the 2 remaining items we need for go mode.
Like a Baron key?
Yeah, like a Baron key. So we need 1 Luca key, and that's all she wrote?
You were right. This is looking very jetty so far.
And for what it's worth, that's the kind of situation that I think gives BobBree a big advantage, given that he's already cleared all these checks. The longer the seed goes, the more time your gear has to close that gap.
Yeah, and especially, too, like, the required checks, short of the moon checks, nothing really here calls for a lot of power. The moon, of course, and the giant will, but we don't need that yet. We can just completely just knock these out, make tons of objective progress, and not really have to worry about how powerful we are in the process.
Poidrac, of course, going to get the slightly sad news. It's just a White Lance here. BobBree taking a save at the Watery Pass save point on the way, the Underground Waterway. What kind of game gets both Watery Pass and an Underground Waterway? It's too many sewer levels for one game. Come on, FF4.
Oh, they were just really focused on plumbing. It's good world building. You have to know, like, how your societies, how they get their water. Actually, if you actually read the setting documents for Final Fantasy IV, they are hilariously bad. There's like 3,000 people who live in Baron. That's it.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Here we go. Poidrac does want to upgrade the party composition. Did he leave a save outside of Dwarf Castle to reset back to from here?
I'm not sure.
It's always a fun little thing to do if your next plan is to go tower anyway.
Oh, that's a Kane. He's thinking about it.
You just got a White Lance. Come on, buddy.
Yeah. He goes for it. Yeah, like, you've got a lot of great gear for that Kane. I don't see why you wouldn't. And yeah, we dropped the Eddie, who has, I think, outlived his usefulness.
Yeah, the last fight that I think he would be particularly relevant for would be a very high-powered Dark Knight match. We know Odin, LordBobBree just took care of him without issue. Poidrac has a Thunderclaw kicking around for that fight anyway. Wyvern, Eddie did great hide strats there. We've not seen Evil Wall. Evil Wall is another one that Eddie has some niche use for, but I don't think you need him if you have an Adamant Armor.
Yeah, I think we're fine here, and I think, about the half-hour mark in this flag set, if you don't have a spoon, and if you don't have, like, Artie, you can safely get rid of your... Oh, we got a Dragoon armor for that Kane, too. I love the Dragoon set. You get, all of that elemental, resistance right there. Just a fantastic, set of equipment.
Poidrac catching that Zeus Gauntlet now, saying, nope, that goes on the Ninja for now. Flips the Strength Ring over for Kane.
Strength Ring still let a poke in the eye with a rusty nail.
And BobBree finds Yang here. Not exactly the character I think that you want to see at this point. Like, the Kane that Poidrac has is great. Love to see him, but we've had no Cecils, no Foos, no Roses.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of characters we don't want to see, and I think we still have a duplicate out in the pool, and what in the world is that sprite on the left? It looks like a tie of some sort, like a, the ruffly neck thing.
I believe that is the dancer's dress who casts it off before dancing in Kaipo.
Oh, saucy.
Just a silver apple here, but BobBree lights up another objective. We talk about Poidrac's gear, and these checks do keep paying off. Masamune, nothing to sneeze at, but again, not a whole lot of key items required to be in go mode this seed, and I would be very leery of overlooting at this point, just because you went through the entirety of Ordeals, didn't get a real payoff from that. Dwarf Castle just gave you a White Lance. And when you have this much power, I think it's very dangerous to go excessively loot. Of course, Poidrac may not be aware of LordBobBree's particular playstyle, but tonight BobBree is going ham, believing in the team regardless of the loot status.
And speaking of Dark Knight Cecil and the Eddy, we just got a BobBree does still have him. Just need to rearrange that party so we can get that turn off, or just walk away and come back later. You can always say no to a check.
Yeah, and 200 more HP on that edge, and it's no problem. You just throw a Cure 3 and the fight's done. So
yeah, so we instead are going to the Chocobo Forest to find a Chocobo and enter this mysterious magnetic cave. And as far as the chests go, looks like Poidrac was only taking the ones really, directly on the path and just getting what was there. Yeah. So I'm not too worried for him on that.
Yeah, just Masamune, Ninja Blade, Adamant Armor, Zeus Gauntlet, Edge. This ninja is ready to roll. But BobBree at this point, up these tower fights, already up Baron Castle walking through. Poidrac has a lot of terrain to make up here, and as long as BobBree fades or continues to fade Ordeals, I think it's still advantage BobBree.
Yeah, it does seem to be so, though. With these checks from the tower, I think we might see if the equipment advantage from Poidrac is going to be enough to pay off.
I think the biggest deal will be how hidden is that Luca key. If it ends up being behind a Feymarch fight, I think Poidrac will have time for the gear to make up the difference.
Yes, whereas if it's right here, Poidrac's in trouble. And Harumph, of course, is clearly feeling quite unwell today. We wish him all the love and support in dealing with the April Fool's fever that he deals with.
Well, speaking of a fever, I have one, and I think the only cure for it is actually even more Twin Harp. So let's see what Edward has in store for us this seed. Hopefully Harumph rolled one that can alleviate his symptoms as well. We'll see y'all in a minute, chat. It's a good thing everyone likes this song so much, because we're getting a lot of it.
Yeah. I cannot complain at all. I love this song to bits, love Xenogears to bits, and we've got the gauntlet here. Thank you, Harumph. Thank you. And that was Bonds of Sea and Fire, but from Xenogears by Yasunori Mitsuda and lovingly transcribed into the game by Xenocat. We get an Earth Crystal from that. Another bit of vanilla.
Well, this is we mentioned that LordBobBree did not do a lot of the big early game loot spots like Poidrac did, and this is a big chance to equalize. You won't get Adamant armor from this spot. No tier 8 is going to be down here, but we can get some really nice stuff to outfit this team. But he might not even go for it. Let's see what he chooses here if he continues the ascetic lifestyle.
Yeah, and of course this is too another pair of gated character checks, and we have exhausted so many of them. Fu and Cecil chances are increasing. We're gonna get our reprise on music quite soon here.
Great Vast Treasury!
Ooh, Avenger.
Oh, two of them. Or no, that's what. I'm just looking at the wrong thing.
But yeah, Avenger Murasame got a nice white shirt for Porum. Rather good treasury. Now, Poidrac here did not go directly for the Baron objective, and for what it's worth, if he does chase the Earth Crystal here instead of going to his objective, it'll deposit him right back at Baron to do that check, and I think by then, his Edge probably will have enough HP to not really have concerns with that DKC fight.
Of course, that's assuming that DKC fight is at all necessary.
Oh, of course. Again, we need only one Luca key, so if it comes out of this slot, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, cannot complain about the about this nice little objective sweep or key item sweep that we're getting. Love this little loop.
Now, one thing I will note here is that Poidrac's alt gauntlet, Adamant Armor Edge, cast spells pretty darn good. Probably not strong enough to take down the ogres, but all the other fights going to clear up very quickly.
Yeah, I wonder if we might see him also just grab a couple extra wines off the ogres as they pass us by. But might not be on his mind there.
BobBree's Porum very nicely equipped. Got a next to top tier stat stick. Got the ribbon for status immunity, white shirt for all of that willpower. But you know what? More. How do you like your bonds? Do you like them being of sea and fire? Because we've got them. We've got them, and a lot of them.
I love them.
Brief mention, BobBree wisely trusting in the speed and power of his team to do a YOLO CPU strat instead of a time-consuming slower one. New Leviathan and that Edge had enough oomph to get through. Love to see the riskier play. Although, not really risky with this team, but the unconventional one versus CPU. Well, we found the foo. Fusoya joining the team, 100 HP shy of full power, but knows all the spells, ready to throw nukes and quakes, whatever you need. And Poidrac is going into Zot instead of going directly to the Baron check. So we know there's Fu up here. If there is a Luca key as well, this is about to be a very exciting bum rush to the finish. Chad asking, is there a place where Pale Dim is actually hard? Pale Dim, because it only uses physical attacks, is usually pretty benign. It doesn't necessarily get hard, it gets annoying if you're in a situation where you don't have good non-elemental damage. Since it, if you hit it with an elemental spell, you're going to have a bad time. If you hit it with an elemental weapon, you're doing half damage. So it mostly gets annoying, not difficult. And LordBobBree equalizing on the Adamant armor. Poidrac will have a second one up here to pass over to that Fu Orcane, but that right there cut away Poidrac's big advantage at this point in the seed.
Yeah, that is huge for LordBobBree. It will be a lot less significant for Poidrac, because, I mean, you have one Adamant armor. A second Adamant armor is great, but you get some diminishing returns there.
Yeah, I think the main thing it offers is that, especially in concert with the Fu's HP at Zeromus can sometimes be a little bit of a liability, but you put an Adamant armor on him and you have an Adamant armor on pick your fighter, pick your favorite. Edge or Kane, either one works, and you're golden for the Z fight without even having to grind past, 2,000 HP. Which we're gonna have more than that. We have to do the Giant today.
We do. That Fu is having a bit of a rough time, but Rydia gets up to get some XP.
Yeah, LordBobBree leaning into the Rydia this playthrough. Got that early Leviathan summon and has been using it to great effect. Rydia doing just fantastic sweeper duty in many fights. Package, does that put us at... No, not quite. That's key item number 9 for LordBobBree. Almost there.
So really, it inclines us to keep it, when really it does us no good otherwise.
Now, I will note that if Poidrac also fully clears Baron, Poidrac will end up at 10 key items before moving on to the moon, courtesy of that Sand Ruby from Ordeals.
Yeah, so that could make a lot of difference with the cleanup phase of the seed. Oh, we're taking Tella. And not the Fu.
Alright. I'm wondering now if Poidrac maybe got the two of them mixed up. Maybe he is just very intent on having an anchor in the long run and thinking the other three of the team members have things covered. I mean, his Zerkitude is definitely mighty here.
Yeah, the immediate kill there, that makes me think we're an anchor country. I'd rather have the nuke.
I mean, you can have it both ways, the seed, if you so choose, but we know there's a Palom waiting on the moon. He's a very good anchor. I think for me, I would ditch the Porum for the Fu, and then take the Palom on the moon to be my anchor.
Yeah, that works quite nicely also.
So here we go. LordBobBree fully committing to never Ordeals. That is his play tonight. And that's roughly what he's up here. Poidrac hasn't touched any of Baron Castle yet. Will be nicely deposited there by leaving Zot. But again, we know it's just the Sand Ruby up there. LordBobBree has a several-minute advantage here and has that adamant armor to equalize. Poidrac's going to have a second one, but this is looking like it's LordBobBree's race to lose at this point.
Yeah, the gear gap is really narrowed. So it really depends on what our runners do from here and how rapidly they find this Luca key.
And Poidrac putting the adamant armor on the Porum, I kind of like that. You're losing a little bit of damage that you could have on Kain, but Kain is the most survivable out of the team, barring adamant armor equips, right? He's going to end up at 3,000 plus HP. He's going to have no problems in this Romus fight. That's your safety. You don't have to do any more equipping if you don't want to, if you're Poidrac.
Yeah, Kain already has stats, so while he benefits from the adamant armor stats, not as much from a character who doesn't have them in the first place, like Porum.
This is also a really nice setup for Poidrac now. Like, his Porum can insta-zerk someone, and then the other fighter can either drink wine, or if Tella's still standing, go ahead and knock the old man down. So it's a very clean, reliable setup. Not a whole lot to think about. You don't have to waste brain power in your fights thinking, what is the exact optimum thing to do here? You are going to zerk. You are going to beat everything to death with big honkin' weapons. That's the Poidrac plan this scene. LordBobBree going directly to the objectives, not passing go, not collecting any loot, not doing any treasure chests. Just no sirens spent. What's this boss? Can I beat it right now? Is it my Luca key? I want my go mode.
Yeah, like I think definitely here you want to just check the objectives first, because if in this particular position, if your objective has it, you don't need to touch any of the rest of this mood.
A nice low spell power at this Wyvern Altar too. LordBobBree not really anchored here, going with the 20 agility foo. Not really a problem for a lot of moon fights with a team this strong. This thing's a bit of a jerk here, though.
Yeah, I would want that edge in the back row just for absolute safety, but this is fine. We'll be fine. Edge is berserk. We'll win.
Yeah, still punching through that adamant armor to a decent degree.
Yeah, that is the one thing about adamant. You're only going to get perfect defense in the back row, so... But in this case, it just means we need to cure up.
Yeah. And I dare say Poidrac's setup here is now starting to shave some of those seconds away.
Yeah, just whipping through that Bahamut fight. Blink and you miss him.
I do think that the real danger for Poidrac here is we've not seen a lot of the freebie fights. Poidrac doesn't have hourglasses. He used all his coffins. We find something like the Baron Guards up in the Giant at the Element spot. LordBobBree insta-kills them. Poidrac has a little bit of work to do in that fight.
Yeah, that's very true. It's one of those things I don't like always using the last of a resource that I have. You're never gonna... Like, yes, you want to get those coffins to use them, but I'd rather have a coffin when I need one instead of not having one.
LordBobBree clears this Wyvern Altar, gets piddly XP from it, and there's the Adamant Equalizer.
Now we're really equivalent here. So I think that Edge could use some better weapons still.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things here that could swing this back in Poidrac's favor would be for the Luca key to end up not being anywhere on Moon. I think at that point, LordBobBree might be more willing to go to Ordeals than to go directly to Feymarch. And Ordeals, though, free for this team. The longer the seed go, the narrower Poidrac makes that gap. Barring anything, the Foo can insta-kill for LordBobBree.
Yeah, though, too, I think if once you've completed the moon, and if you're committed to an Ordeal's Fade, you might just make the metagame decision of, if I haven't lost by the time that I clear the moon, it wasn't on ordeals to begin with.
Yeah. Fair. Let's see here. If Poidrac walks this package out, he will have 10 key items going moon.
And that could be huge.
We know, of course, the Mom Bomb fight ain't gonna give you the big XP regardless.
Yeah, I mean, not the highest XP spot on the moon, and then an ugly split. This really is an April Fool's Day seed. Scenic Lake Okanagan, get yourself some apples from the Okanagan Valley. Enjoy our sea serpent.
Yeah, this vanilla Ogopogo at Ogopogo. I don't hate it here. This spot has absurdly high spell power. So I actually like seeing it here more than often like Magus Sisters or, anyone who actually casts a non-percentage based spell.
Yeah, the only caster I ever like seeing on this spot is Golbez, who will easily take himself out here. Otherwise, please just give me something that will hit me, or give me a percentage spell. Poidrac is going to the giant before going to the moon.
I love this with 10 key items, quite frankly.
Yeah, you're gonna get so much XP, the moon will just collapse beneath him.
Like,
and
for instance,
what if Cecil's at the end of the giant?
I don't think you take him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Best weapon we found for him is a defense sword. Poidrac didn't even grab the Avenger from the treasury. He figured his loot was good enough. So yeah. I don't think we take the Cecil this seed. But I am thinking Poidrac's going to have a lot nicer time with this Ogopogo when he finally gets down there.
Oh yeah, it's just gonna go down like something that goes down quickly, like a big bowl of vanilla ice cream.
Delicious. Quick safety save. We don't have to heal up. The element spot will take care of that for us.
And two, the other thing I love about doing this is we know there's so many free bosses in the pool. That's a Bylon, which is not super free, but not very hard either.
The good news for Poidrac here is this fight's going to be slow for both racers, just because of all the Lightning 1 counters.
Yeah, but fortunately, absolutely sad magic power here. It's going to be slow, but it's not going to be hard.
And there's an Excalibur. So now things get tricky for LordBobBree. Everywhere we've really gone has kind of led to all the logical spots led us to more key items. We've done our objectives here on the moon, neither one providing that Luca key. So now you get to make the awkward decision. Am I going to full clear everything here? Am I going to leave if I get a pan or a hook to do the rat tail? I mean, that one you can just run back. Both of those you can run back and turn in pretty quickly anyway. But now you start worrying a little bit.
Yeah, because we are now into the superfluous checks. And we're only looking for one key item, but we've got, as you say, we've got the pan unaccounted for, we've got the hook unaccounted for.
You know what would be great this seed? A mute knife.
Yeah.
One of the wonderful tools in your kit for dealing with Asura and Magus Sisters and some other fights.
We have got mute arrows.
Yeah. Although, being able to cast Wall here directly instead of having to do any kind of double Star Veil or Life Lock, just going to simplify LordBobBree's life.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna go through her the old-fashioned way.
And I love LordBobBree clearing this moon, still not even having Cure 3 on Porum, just full of moxie, just going for it, saying, I don't want to grind, I got my team, I got what I need, let's get in and get out.
Yeah, and you know what, I love just you know, knowing what your party is capable of and being able to use that just to clear these fights. And maybe they take a little bit longer than if you did level up harder for it. But if you can get them done first, it doesn't matter.
Meanwhile, up on Poidrac's screen, illustrating the difference between a Ninja Masamune headband, adamant armor, Zeus gauntlet, and I think that Kane... Oh yeah, the Kane doesn't have the other adamant armor, so the Kane is not rocking that kind of gear at all. Just these damage numbers edge doing like triple the damage of Kane. Kind of makes you wonder what exactly is the optimum time to Zerk a lesser Zerker when you know you're getting all these Lightning 1 counters versus, like, what is the HP total? What is the damage number? At which point you are not actually gaining time with your second Zerker.
Yeah, that is an interesting question, though I think, you know, we're still clearing, like, you know, 1,500 each, so that's a decent chunk.
Meanwhile, this is Surified going a little slow for BobBree here. She is quite punchy, even hitting this edge, the adamant armor to a certain degree, but that hit takes it.
Yeah, we are through here. We get... Oh, that's a hook.
And that gives you a free Rat Tail turn in, if you want to go take it.
I'm gonna save first. Yeah, we are gonna go for the Riven Room, looks like. Just healing up. And as Twisted Flax notes in chat, 10 key items, perfect time to do the Riven.
Yeah. Gonna get 200,000 from here if it's not a split XP boss.
Oh, my heart.
Hey, that's a great place to have some coffins. And some life glitches. BobBree's about to cut this XP gap, too.
Life 2.
Oh, there's no need to life 2. You gotta do the giant anyway. Come on.
Look, if you can life 2, you should life 2. Because when else are you gonna do it?
Maybe if you had taken this spot first and elected to do it for your grind, but I like just taking your 300,000 and getting out. I think that is the wise path here.
Yeah, I mean, 300,000 XP is not a poke in the eye with a rusty nail, especially with another 500,000 coming from the giant. Leviathan here, this is gonna hurt from the Ice 2s.
Well, it won't be hurting the edge or the Porum.
That's true, they do have the adamants, but
we did not see a flip back to the Thunderclaw, though, sadly. But I guess if you're doing 4,602 a hit, I think we can let it slide, huh?
Yeah, and this spot just does not have a ton of hit points.
Did note, got a key item from that altar. The spoon. I already forgot what was in the left chest. Do you remember what it was?
I think it was another X-Gal? I'm not sure. It wasn't a key item.
Yeah, not meaningful, but
oh, Bahamut,
still...
Bahamut.
Oh, Bahamut. Well, you know, BobBree's been letting Rydia live her best life. We might be seeing a Blarg come out in a minute.
Yeah, like, let Rydia nuke things.
Meanwhile, Poidrac going to be lighting up. Objective number 5. Got all kinds of gas in the tank for this team. And we finally found Cecil.
Yes, I believe this leaves a single dupe on the hook route. I don't think we're going to find out who that is.
Nope. And that's a Golbez at the Murasame altar. Again, adamant armor, edge, doesn't really care about the shenanigans here that much. The viruses will do some damage, but there's not a whole lot to be scared of here. It's just time consuming.
Yeah, no, he's come back from a productive April Fool's Day. Yeah, Poidrac does not take the Cecil. We just don't get It's too late for him, really, even with the moon check still ahead of us.
And LordBobBree might have the Adamant on. It won't protect you from the paralysis. You do have to have another piece of gear to be able to resist that. But it will protect from the insta-death.
Yeah, and that's really the most important thing.
I'm guessing his edge has a crystal ring equipped, and that's why he was able to also resist the paralysis.
Might be a ribbon.
Meanwhile, Poidrac gonna see Palom for the second time this seed. I don't think the results are gonna be any different this time, kiddo.
Yeah, we didn't take a Cecil, we're not taking you.
But now the question I'm wondering is, if Poidrac does target the LST because of the double objective there, are we going to see him make the rat tail check?
Yeah, because that's going to be much less conveniently timed than than it being the 10th key item with the ribbon room still unaccounted for. So we might see Poidrac dip out.
Yeah, because also at this point, Poidrac doesn't need the XP from the moon.
Yeah.
LordBobBree, of course, still needed the XP, so it makes sense to do it before you come back and check the rat tail. Because for all we know, your rat tail could give you your Luca key, and then your Luca key could give you your pass, and then you're not coming up here anyway. Yes, I'm glad I got my 300,000.
Yeah, that is, I think, the big hope. That's a Legend Sword. That is not what we're looking for at all.
So running low on options. Wherever the goods are, they are in the K-Summon pool tonight, whether in Cave Bahamut or Feymarch.
Yeah, so I think we're definitely going to see LordBobBree head over to check that Cave Bahamut, see who's there. And would it not be the perfect April Fool's Day seed if indeed there were value in Cave Bahamut?
Well, we'll get a look there soon. Poidrac, meanwhile, about to be face-to-face with that Mom Bomb that has all the levels, has that extra Adamant armor equipped on Porum. Gonna be... I don't think we probably don't even see the Rotten Tomato stage of this fight, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's the big question. Will she change shape at all?
With Mom Bomb taking down that cane, saying, who's not wearing an Adamant? You're not wearing an Adamant.
And that's our water hag, camping out in Bahamut's spot, keeping his seat warm.
3 bops, that fight will be done. Oh, we are seeing the Rotten Tomato phase. Mostly because Mom Bomb did not go for either Adamant wearer at the start, I dare say. That would have drastically simplified Poidrac's fight, of course.
Yes, and just a couple more hits and we get through there.
So the funny thing is that although Poidrac did ordeals for basically no value, I think the 10th key item is really going to come into play here. Earlier we thought the loot advantage would be the bigger deal, but LordBobBree equalized on that front. And now, the 10th key item and the early giant play is really doing a lot of work for Poidrac.
Yeah, he's just steadily gaining on LordBobBree here, and you know what? I do love a good ramping strategy where you're just, taking that extra bit of time early to shore yourself up and just come through like a steamroller through the entire rest of the seed. LordBobBree on his way down to the giant now.
Yeah, gotta do it anyway. Gotta get the levels before going back to Feymarch.
Yeah, both of these racers absolutely scary good, as pointed out in chat. You know, some very different methodology in play here with how they've both been attacking the seeds, and they've been tearing it apart with absolute efficiency, both of them.
Now, did Poidrac put that third adamant on his cane?
I don't know. Maybe?
Okay. Because if so, okay. Yeah, the chat confirming indeed did. So that's adamant armors across the board. Physical attacks, not much of a concern. The cane in the front row, of course, could still get bopped just a little bit, but...
But we're fine. This, you know, and this does put his entire functional party in adamant, which, that, you know, partial coverage greater than 1, not great. I mean, it's great, but it's not... On the scale of we have adamants, it's not great. The entire party in adamant, mwah, beautiful.
Now again, though, Poidrac will be losing time compared to LordBobBree if he bothers taking that guard fight. Without a Mage Mash or without a source of stop, I mean, you can mute them and mini them and then be doing quad 9 damage per hit, but...
I mean, Fu is a source of stop, Fu is a source of weak, Fu is a source of stone.
And Poidrac lacks all of those. You could pick your Tella up. Poidrac's Tella does know all his spells, but you don't want him to survive the fight when you're this dedicated to anchoring, especially not to the tune of 300,000 XP.
Well, I mean, Poidrac already did the guard fight, so...
Really?
The guard fight at the end of the Giant that he already did?
No. That was a Leviathan. The guard fight is here in the Ribbon Room.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I am terribly confused.
It's all good. I got you covered. So yeah, I guess the way to do it be theoretically pick your Tella up, blink your Tella, let your Tella cast weak on 1, and I don't know. Oh wait. Okay, now this is that room. Looking around for anything here that trivializes this fight, and yeah, you don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you're immune to all their counterattacks, but still.
Yeah, though I think, honestly, I wonder if it would be faster to just pick Tella up, have him do a stone on these guys, and just pick up a fresh anchor on your way back down.
Yeah, also a good point, because Poidrac definitely doesn't need more levels, you know? Like, the team's fine.
Yeah.
And they are speedy as heck. When you have... Actually, they're all wearing adamant armor. You could probably get 300,000 XP on Tella here, or at least the 200,000, and not actually be concerned. Your team is so fast from the plus 15 agility on everyone else, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, just because of the adamant, too, I mean, these counters don't even take any time. There's no animation besides the window. You know, we've got everybody berserked up who counts. Just gonna let it run and, you know, maybe go refresh his drink while this goes.
But all these enemies with all their counterattacks, yeesh. At least the animation doesn't play on those, like with Mylon's Lightning 1.
Yeah. Honestly, I do love any sort of way you can just eliminate that little counter spell animation.
Now, I do love the swag walk right to the next altar. I didn't need any of that.
Yeah,
so if I wipe,
damage, yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to save between if you're still at full hit points.
Now, one thing, I think I would have liked to have seen a spoon throw here. This is...
Yeah. This is
potentially gonna be a little annoying for Poidrac.
Yeah, or even just have the Porum open off with a direct cast wall. It's not gonna last. This fight is not gonna last long enough that we need to double Starveil. Yeah, there we go.
But Asura did heal herself up just, well, and yet again, another one. So, kind of attrition at this point. This wall will, of course, seal the deal, but
Yeah, kind of annoying there. That's why, get your wall up first with Asura. It feels faster, and it normally is faster to get your Berserk than get your supplementals off, but Asura will, of course, just undo all your work.
now again, very curious as to whether or not Poidrac immediately chases the rat tail.
Yeah, far more likely, I think, than LordBobBree with his checks.
Oh, and chat, fun fact, Asura's reflected life ones cannot hit any dead members of your party. So you don't actually even have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's very funny, really.
Alright, rat tail, pardon me, hook for Poidrac to enable the rat tail turn in. I think I flipped those two items in my brain a little while ago. And LordBobBree working hard here to try to have everyone still standing at the end of this Leviathan fight for the XP. These Ice 2s, a little rude. A little rude. Oh, and the save drops and Poidrac running right back in instead of the rat tail turn in. We know this Golbez fight takes a while.
Yeah, cannot blame him for making this check, but it's not gonna do him any good.
Yeah, I can swing either way in this kind of situation when you do have a freebie just hanging that requires no fights. I assume a better racer would very carefully tabulate which fights they have remaining and know who's left in the pool. But if you're not doing that, I think this is just coin flip, whatever you feel like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think either racer ever launched the hovercraft this seed, actually.
Yeah, and there was no compelling reason to rush that, I don't think.
And with that, we are even on objectives 6 versus 6. Poidrac has 2 fights left on the moon. LordBobBree faded ordeals. Let's see if he continues with that. Gotta flip airships. Now, the cute thing here, I think, is that we also know here now in the booth that these Feymarch checks eventually lead to the pass as well. Well, barring the rat tail. We have the rat tail turn in
It
first.
can lead to the pass. Because we still have not narrowed down that rat tail.
Yeah.
Which...
So if rat tail is Bubkus, I wonder, in the heat of battle, I could see someone completing Sealed Cave and like getting a pan and then forgetting, wait, I can just get a pass by finishing this off, you know?
Yeah. Of course, I think the funniest thing for the rat tail to give would, of course, be the pink tail.
Oh, just so Poidrac gets to have 4 adamant armors and LordBobBree has 3.
Yeah, just because that would be completely useless, really. It would do us no good. I mean, some good for LordBobBree, but really, at that point you're like, another one? I'll just throw it on the pile.
And the rat tail has been sitting there for your go mode ever since you got the hook at the plague spot. As a runner, how does that make you feel, Neon, when that pops out right there?
I think the polite word for it is gross. And I think the actual word for it is something I am not allowed to say, while on comms.
So yeah, huge advantage LordBobBree now. Poidrac is committed to full clearing the moon, not going to chase the freebie. Has a great team, but here's the thing.
It's not going to win him the race.
Yeah, LordBobBree's in go mode.
Yeah.
Like, ta-da!
Yeah, and I think we've really already been through anything that can be a significant speed bump on this particular Luka-Key spot. I think Mega Sisters maybe still.
Yeah, you know, we say, check your objectives, check your freebies. You know, and it's not 100% of the time, but this seed gonna make both our runners panic when they see that Rattle turn in.
Yeah, that's just where you mutter a swear under your breath and you go in a dead run through this cave.
We do see the safety save here. Not gonna risk it quite that severely. Even with all these levels and all these adamant armors, is there anyone I forgot who could just ruin my day down here?
Yeah, who would be annoying? We've already got CPU.
Ooh, I like that pan. I think I absolutely check for the pass before I walk back up the moon. That is a risk I would absolutely take after leaving here.
It's in the back of my mind, but I really
That's not gonna slow anyone down here.
it'll slow us down if we decide to sit through it. But no, we're gonna go for the kill.
This would be where you throw the spoon, right
Yeah.
here. This is where you throw the spoon, you kill the king. It's such a speedy spot, the queen will die very soon thereafter.
Yeah, or you can just nuke him down too.
Yeah, let's see what this Riddy is up to. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah. I think we're not even letting the queen get her turn. Yeah. But as I was saying, I think I think I might give the pan a pass, even with the thought of the pass in my mind. Just because at this point, I'm feeling really panicked about the late rat tail check.
Yeah. On the flip side, though, for LordBobBree, I'm feeling really good about never going ordeals. I'm feeling
Yeah.
fantastic on that front. That part's great.
Yeah, like, yeah, like, it's one of those things where, you make one of those early fades and it just pays off right away.
Yeah. The funny thing is, so the key items that, well, we here in the booth know are in the pool. So there's 3 summon spots left, 1 K main spot left. And the pass and the pink tail are what's outstanding. It would be pretty funny if you do the pan stuff and you only get the pink tail.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with this garbage? I don't need adamant armor. Have you seen how much adamant armor I'm carrying around?
Yeah, I've destabilized the adamant armor market for the next several centuries.
And now Poidrac gets the panic-inducing news, and LordBobBree not checking the pan. That, I mean, this is still advantage LordBobBree, but if it's at the sylphs, that saves a little bit of time for Poidrac if he goes there.
Yeah, but I think especially in LordBobBree's position, he's got pink tail, sand ruby, and pass unaccounted for. With 2 of the checks left. Did he ditch? Oh, we're pulling edge.
LordBobBree is going to go for reflect strats here, and I don't know. So on this flag set, with how much melee power we've got, we don't see these often, and I'm wondering how often we're getting them in the asyncs and people's practice seeds if people are really doing a lot there. The danger here, of course, is sometimes the timing, especially if you don't have, when you're bringing Holy into the mix, the timing can get a little wonky. When it's all nukes all the time, you're living your best life. But the delay on Holy cast can is I think the one thing here that'll cost LordBobBree this win at this point. If the timing gets wonky and it comes out too late, it comes out after a black hole, and Zeromus just gets the advantage that way.
Yeah, I really do not like how delayed actions work in this particular battle system. It's and honestly, I think the game designers also didn't, because we never saw them again. But, you know, as chat is pointing out, if we're just opening on the white and, or if we just have the one white, and if we, yeah, that's probably manageable.
Poidrac here, going to let the king and queen burn themselves out, electing to do inventory management, prepping for that Zeromus fight. Willing to have room for the crystal, for some wine.
Still, that is a potentially run-losing delay at this point.
Yeah. And I'm still wondering if he intended to do the pan checks, we'd probably see him pulling the pan up as well to speed that, to accelerate that. So, yeah, we'll see. Again, I think if it's at Sheila too, it's still irrelevant. I think only if it's at the Sylphs does that give the opportunity here to equalize.
Yeah, and I don't think it's worth it to gamble that particular block of time.
With that, Poidrac lights up his crystal.
Still, like, what a beautifully tight race. Like, two completely different modes of attack on this seed, and we're still, like, you know, we're in differences of, like, you know, 2 minutes here.
Oh yeah, love to see it. Been one of my favorite things all Adamant Cup. Curious to see if that'll persist in the bracket stage, where one piece of good loot from a trap chest can be far more game-breaking than in these flags. As the seed very much indicated, LordBobBree didn't do a whole lot of trap chest fishing, and still ended up with just as strong of a team in the endgame.
Yeah, and I think too, like, this sort of seed here is a really nice preview of the brackets in general. So while we do still have the Fu, who's been in play, and he'll be gone also, we've seen we located the Cecil eventually, but neither felt any need to take him, and that's how it's gonna be. In brackets, we're not gonna have a choice. No Cecil whatsoever, and a mysterious flag has appeared.
Yeah, Zeromus doesn't get moved anywhere. Everyone else, you can flip the script, you can send them elsewhere, you can randomize their stats. Not going to do that with the big Z. He stays where he is, but he does get a costume, a makeover. The new year, new you. Zeromus, what you gonna look like tonight? And Neon, as we love to ask,
Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight? And, how cute is this butt? I refuse to consider the notion of a butt not being cute, because all butts are cute. How cute is this butt?
I think there's a sprite or two in the pool that would make you reconsider that statement.
I've seen Moonless. And...
Turtle! It's
this...
Yeah.
Yeah, this does not have a butt because it would have a cloaca.
They're analogous. It counts.
I guess, but...
Yeah, I believe this is the Adamantus from 15. I think this is the one that giant mountain? That's actually an endgame super boss. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think that's right. I'm seeing somebody say 13 in chat also. Also seeing 15. I don't know. My really deep knowledge of Final Fantasies ends at 10 and skips to 14 from there.
And here we go. LordBobBree going for pure reflect strats. That way you avoid the refill that Zeromus does if you do direct physical damage past the 45,000 mark. You only have to do a total of 61,000 this way to kill it, instead of what amounts to being well over 6 figures if you do it directly.
And Poidrac swags his way in.
I think with where that rat tail was, I mean with what that rat tail turn-in gave, you have to at this point. You have
Yeah.
to feel real bad about that.
Yeah, just gotta run, don't stop. Hoping desperately for a wipe here. And you know what? It's actually funny, this sprite. As I mentioned, Ted, I always, whenever this one pops up, I always confuse it briefly with, the sprite for Sin, which is quite similar, just, a little bit more forward, a little grayer.
LordBobBree, I believe, just tipped. We saw a very powerful Holy Cast that did not draw any counter whatsoever. That means the Zeromus just refilled its HP. So now LordBobBree has to get through the second half of the HP. And the team is... Okay, Cure 4 coming out will help, but that is the big chance for Poidrac. I think LordBobBree was counting HP, hoped the direct white would take the kill. Did not. Still huge advantage LordBobBree, but that definitely gives Poidrac well over a minute back in this race.
Yeah, it gives them a chance, because, you know, we get these boys swinging, but no, that's a shake.
Yeah, the damage was just too much, too strong. In fact, that Holy might not have been the first refill. That could have even been... it could have been later in the script, even during the part where it switches to rocks, because that last part went so fast.
Yeah, that could have been the Meteo swap.
Yeah. GG's to LordBobBree, wins the rematch, gets to advance to the bracket stage, just minutes apart this race. Keep an eye on Poidrac, he's going to clean that up very quickly. And I believe we are joined by the winner of this race, LordBobBree. GG's.
Thank you.
So, ordeals. Plan from the start, never going there, no matter what? Or was it a function of what else you saw on the scene?
It was what else I saw. Like, if I saw us earlier Cecil, I would have gone there, but it never came up.
Yeah, well, fantastic work. You know, I was, when you dropped that edge at the end, I was kind of like, whoa! But then you just took that fight straight home at the end, and, like, beautiful work on that.
Yeah, by the time I was clearing the moon, I figured I was going to get rid of him, since a fast anchor for a Mage Z fight usually doesn't work out well.
Now, what were you thinking after you did do the complete full clear of the moon and came back and saw that Rat Tail, the freebie that you had for a couple of boss fights already, was your go mode, had the solution to the scene? What went through your mind then?
I was really hoping that Poidrac didn't take it and head right back to Earth, since I hadn't been considering it at the time, but wanted the experience from the other moon fight, so I figured I'd check them.
Gotcha. Well, you've punched your ticket to the bracket stage. Do you know who your opponent is going to be?
Yep, it's Couch.
Couch_23. Cool. Are you looking forward to that match? Have you seen his? Did you see his group matches? Is there something you're? I don't want you to have to give away too many secrets, but do you have any special plans for that best of three?
I haven't been able to watch as many matches as I've wanted to, so I'm not really kept up with how he is done. So just make sure I'm familiar enough with the bracket flags to do well is all I'm gonna do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, you did showcase Reflect strats beautifully. I think we'll be seeing more of those in the brackets flags as well. Just you get rid of the Cecil and the Foo from the pool. Foo and Friends not really on the table anymore. A lot of your big Zerker options, your biggest Zerker option falls out as well. So maybe we'll be seeing more of those. And this was a great little preview.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on keeping an eye out for that more in the brackets.
Well, any final thoughts on tonight's race, LordBobBree, before we let you go and wrap the remainder of it up?
Well, Poidrac kept it close and was a good opponent. I was nervous the whole time about when he was going to finish. GG to him.
GG's. And also, perfect timing. As soon as you said that, Poidrac wrapped up with a 138.20. Just less than 4 minutes apart. Beautifully run by both of you. GG's to him in the chat.
Yes, absolutely GG's to you, Poidrac, as well. Beautifully run, the both of you. You know, especially just the contrast between how you both did the seed overall and just how well it worked out for the both of you. Fantastic play.
And we have been informed Poidrac will not be joining us for an interview. It is late over there. May need to get to bed, lick some wounds, come back stronger next time. I kind of wish we could have gotten a best of 3 because we did have, you know, these two runners face off in the final match of groups, and then it just flipped the other way here. So many exciting races this tournament. I've been a big fan of it. Neon, where are we headed?
Alright, looks like we are on our way to RPG Limit Break for, looks like a 3-way tiebreaker, for Saradin versus Silverfire versus Xenocat. We will also be coming back here for, at 10:30, where Sorbius and Y2 Sky will be facing off against each other, so it is a Friday night full of free enterprise. Kick back, make some popcorn, and enjoy the ride over to RPG Limit Break for that particular tiebreaker.
Have a good night, everyone.